Welcome. This is the Boat Policy module, which is designed to raise your awareness about policies of personal behavior that may apply when working on a boat. When working on a boat, you will be expected to comply with multiple policies that influence your behavior on board. These policies include smoking, alcohol and drugs, bullying, sexual harassment, and if applicable, racism and religious discrimination. On some boats a smoking policy may exist, barring the use of cigarettes or e-cigarettes in the wheelhouse, galley, accommodation, and engine room. You will be expected to comply with this policy and smoke in a designated area outside. If you are heading outside for a smoke on your own, you should inform someone and take all precautions to reduce the risk of falling overboard. Cigarette butts should not be discarded overboard. Many boats also have a strict alcohol and drug policy, some with a zero tolerance of alcohol and drug use. Some hazards associated with alcohol and drug use on a boat include impaired judgment in an already dangerous environment, increased risk of accident and injury to self and others on the boat, impaired decision-making ability, impaired physical ability, increased risk of fatigue, and poor work performance. When you join a boat, you should learn the alcohol and drug policy, which may result in your instant dismissal if found not in compliance. The policy may allow limited alcoholic intake when the boat is at anchor, alongside, or when all work has been completed, but not during normal fishing activity or when required for watchkeeping or other duty. Anyone found in non-compliance with this policy should be reported immediately to the skipper. After all, they are putting your life and that of all others on board at risk. If you are using prescription drugs, you must inform the skipper prior to boarding the boat. This serves to alert the skipper to possible drug-induced issues, including impact on your health and work performance. As a final note, an increasing number of skippers are requiring crew to demonstrate they are drug-free either by presenting supporting medical evidence before they join the boat or by subjecting themselves to random drug tests. Bullying is defined as any verbal, physical, social, or psychological abuse by your employer, another person, or group. It includes discrimination against an individual based on their age, gender, race, sexual orientation, or religion. Bullying should not be tolerated on a boat or other workplace. Examples of bullying include repeated hurtful comments or attacks on your work or you as a person, sexual harassment, intimidation of any kind, giving you pointless or impossible tasks, holding back information so you cannot do your job properly, initiations or hazing rituals, pushing, shoving, or other unwanted contact, and threats with a weapon of any kind. Bullying should not be confused with normal work practices that may seem unfair. And being disciplined or sacked is not considered bullying as long as the employer is acting reasonably. If you are being bullied, your options include informing the bully that their behavior is unacceptable, asking someone else to do this for you, or informing the boat owner or skipper. Bullying can affect your health and your work performance, and some forms of bullying are illegal. It is probably fair to say that relatively few boats have a policy regarding sexual harassment. However, a boat is considered a workplace subject to sexual harassment policies like any other workplace. Sexual harassment is a form of unlawful discrimination and bullying that occurs when a person makes an unwelcome sexual advance, makes an unwanted request for sexual favors, or engages in any other unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature to another person. The challenge is in determining what is unwelcome or unwanted, although it is the responsibility of the person to anticipate that another person might be offended, intimidated, or humiliated. Sexual harassment can be obvious or indirect, physical or verbal, repeated or one-off. It can be perpetrated by males or females against people of the same or opposite sex. Examples of sexual harassment include staring or leering, unnecessary touching, suggestive comments or jokes, insults or taunts of a sexual nature, intrusive questions about a person's private life. displaying posters or other material of a sexual nature, sending sexually explicit material electronically, requests for sex, and indecent exposure. Reporting sexual harassment can be a challenging and emotional decision, both as a recipient or witness, particularly on a boat where an opportunity to escape the offender is limited, and more so if the offender is also the skipper. You should consider confiding in someone on board to discuss your next course of action. You should also consider contacting the boat owner or the authorities and seeking professional counseling and support as soon as possible. As in any occupation, working on a boat presents opportunities for racial discrimination. This is defined as less favorable treatment of a person due to their race, color, descent, origin, or immigration status. It is likely only a few boats have a documented policy on racial discrimination. However, racial discrimination is illegal and boat owners have a legal responsibility to prevent it from occurring in the workplace. Examples of racial discrimination include racial jokes, slurs, or verbal abuse of an individual, deliberate use of materials and substances designed to offend, behavior designed to offend an individual based on their race, and deliberately selecting an individual to complete a task based on their race or color. In some fisheries, an increasing number of crew practice a non-Christian religion. Therefore, the potential for religious discrimination is real, defined as less favorable treatment of a person due to their religious beliefs or practices. Examples for this type of discrimination are very similar to that for racial discrimination. It is also illegal in Australia.
Great. That was a lot to take in, so let's now review the material we have covered.